reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
Today's ESO Reporter is brought to you by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems. Custom-built PCs delivered right to your door. Amazing quality, great options, and outstanding service. Today, if you use the coupon code MMO Reporter at the Doghouse Systems site, you get to double your RAM. So when you want a desktop or laptop that'll be the envy of your guild, kinship, or corporation, then our friends at Doghouse Systems are where you want to go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 9th episode of ESO Reporter, Greenland's #1 transatlantic source of information on the Elder Scrolls Online. And today is somewhere in the middle of May. I don't even remember what the date is. Doesn't matter.
It's
Thank
the
you for joining
14th.
us. 14th. Fantastic. And that wonderful, beautiful voice is Jenahra. Go, Gadget Jen.
Hey, Sven.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really should have just kept my mouth shut, because that was actually a good intro after the 5th take or whatever. Hello, how are you, Sven?
I'm as great as always. And yourself?
I'm fine.
Good. And so what else are we going to talk about today?
He's
How
great.
are you, Tep?
He's fine. I'm pretty good.
Good.
That's somewhere in the middle,
yes.
right? I'm the true neutral here.
That's good. We need one. How is the Chappus and Apps, actually? True neutral or maybe a little above?
Did you say the
I'm
chip
usually-
synapse?
Yeah, I did.
The chip, the snap. I don't know what kind of accent that was, but I think it was flying in the skies in World War II.
Oh, yes, you know. Now we shall see like this.
Tally-ho, what?
Wonderful, darling.
Don't touch the stuff. Anyway, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's been a while.
No, cut. No more of the airship nonsense. Yeah.
We sorry, Tep.
No, I think what was the question?
I don't
have
remember,
no
but I
idea.
was
I
just
asked you how you're feeling.
Oh,
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm good.
Sorry, Sven.
no, I just want to make sure we get our how are we's doings out of the way.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
And it's getting longer by the second.
Well, let's make it short and sweet. So what we're doing here is changing it back over to bi-weekly podcast, dear listener. And so today is Wednesday, but we're going to continue back on our Friday path in a couple weeks. But we want to make sure that we keep the podcast fresh and up to date if possible. Hoping we get this thing posted up as soon as humanly possible so the information we provide you is cutting edge. Anyway, maybe not quite cutting edge, but close to it. Let's start off with some patch news. We've got a few patch updates since we last spoke about them. In fact, the most recent, I think, is May 9th, which is 1.08. What do you think so far, Tep, with most of these patches? Are they just kind of cleaning things up, or...?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of there's a lot of post-launch stuff going on. A lot of fixing quests is that. I mean, that was the vast majority of 106 and 107. I mean, 108 was a couple of a lot of quest fixing in there. They've made some of those inevitable changes to vampires and werewolves and things, starting on the road to try and get those balanced again, I think.
Yeah.
And there are some issues with abilities working when they shouldn't be while holding an Elder Scroll, for example. And thus people being able to move a bit faster with an Elder Scroll than they should have been. And stuff like that.
I didn't.
But it's not big news.
I did enjoy one of the updates in our last one that werewolves, they fixed an issue where they couldn't eat the same corpse multiple times.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just the weird image of them eating the corpse and regurgitating and eating it again.
That's what I thought too. I'm like,
gnawing on the bones.
That is a classic. That is a classic Elder Scrolls bug. You know, it makes me feel good. I like that. Keep it in there.
Warm and fuzzy inside. Well, they didn't keep in the German-speaking
no, they fixed it.
spirits, did they? Which was great.
That was great.
So they're probably not going to keep in, those bugs either. Sad times,
Yeah.
They've been quashing some memory leaks, though, in both the PC and the Mac client. which is good news for anyone who's been suffering from those. I don't know if I've been suffering those because I have 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, it's me too.
So I never would have noticed.
Yeah.
But
is that would just crash the client, right? Once that gets to a certain...
Yeah, it'll just go bang.
Yep. And I don't know, it seems like I've seen less and less of complaining about that kind of thing on forums, although I haven't spent much time on those. I try to avoid them at all costs. But also the chat, general chat, seems to be a little less full of that kind of thing. I don't know if you noticed too. Have they done anything with in these patches with gold spammers or anything? Because it seems like I've seen less of that.
Well, I think I thought we were gonna bring something up like that. We've been doing some research, although Teppo will tell you he hasn't. We've been killing like end bosses in the end of dungeons, and found that they don't seem to drop as much loot anymore if you kill them a second time.
It's not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
There's a timer. It's not that they don't drop as much loot. They will drop the same from the same loot table, but the dungeon bosses and overworld bosses share a timer now. So if you kill one in quick succession after the other, I think it's probably about 10 or 15 minutes, something like that, you don't get as much.
Oh, well, I've been told.
So. Well, you're wrong. That's what they've done to try and combat the people farming bosses at the end of solo dungeons,
which is working.
Like that.
It seems to be working actually.
I've not come across them at the end of these dungeons in some weeks now.
Really
it's been
nice,
great.
Yeah. As far as gold spammers are concerned, email-wise, I thought it was like lightening up a bit, and then I went on tonight and I had like 6 emails or something. I went on really briefly to do my research, and so that was a bit disappointing. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is report.
We're in the first billing cycle now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I haven't noticed a population difference. So that's good. Still plenty of people running around. But you'd kind of expect that from a mega server.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of a mega server. There are pros and cons to having a mega server. Con being the economy is wildly difficult to balance in any way, shape, or form. Pro being it always looks like there's plenty of people around.
Which is nice, It gives you that illusion, even if there aren't, that there are people about.
It does, and I think we're now. I don't know about your highest level. Mine's 32. I think you guys are close to that.
We're 30, I think. We just turned 30. Yeah.
30.
Okay, and I haven't seen a spot really where I felt like, man, where is everyone? So that's encouraging too. As you go along, that there's not gaps where. So I think timing wise, because I play on your server, I call that your server, the EU server, and when I play, typically I can jump on at 9 at night here, which is 3 a.m, and I'm still seeing people. So either they're idiots like me that are playing, from North America over there, or you have, pretty good, or Australians or whatever it might be. There seems to be pretty good population all the way through the day.
Poor Australians.
Yeah, always. Is there an Oceanic, or was there supposed to be an Oceanic mega server?
Hey, there probably will be in the future.
I suspect, yeah.
But I think they moved around the patch times so they wouldn't affect them at prime time on the North American one.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. There seems, from what I've seen about in the Elder Scrolls Online Reddit, there's some people having problems with connecting to Cyrodiil from the Oceanic region at the moment.
Sad times.
Yeah, just long load times and
something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure. I just saw a couple of posts about it. Didn't go into too much depth.
That's good. It's not good for them, but it's good to know that they're at least
they're listened to, and I'm sure they're going to have to do one eventually, won't they? I mean, they don't have to, but it would be in their best interest to do one soon.
Yeah,
sooner rather than later.
We'll talk about a little of the stuff like console updates and that kind of thing later in the news. But you guys have much playtime over the last couple of weeks since we last podcasted?
Not
nearly enough. I'd have to agree with Teppo there. We played a bit. When did we play? Did we play on Sunday? Or Saturday? We might have played on Saturday. We played on Saturday
for about 2 hours.
And that was basically it this week.
Yeah.
And I'm very sad.
Didn't we? Jen, did we?
I hopped on and was naughty on my own.
Oh, no, he got a vamp. We wanted to get. Well, I didn't want a vampire because vampires are stupid. But and that only emos like them.
At least we don't smell a wet dog.
I want to be a wet dog. Damn it.
I'll just leave that one open for the listeners to fill in.
Maybe we should bleep that out. But
No.
no, I'd rather be a werewolf. I'm not into the whole vampire thing anymore.
It'd be your melee.
Yeah, that's true as
suits
well.
melee
Actually,
a bit
yeah.
more.
I mean, vampire would be far more beneficial for you, wouldn't it? Really?
I hope so.
But it is fun being the witch hunter, though, Jen, isn't it, out in Cyrodiil?
Oh my gosh! I don't know if we told you, Teppo, we were jumped by a vampire and a werewolf. That was pretty terrifying.
But the silver bolts do help.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Fire and silver bolts are certainly got to be on one of your weapon skills if you're going out in Cyrodiil these days.
Yep.
And the thing
also,
is, just leave them on there because you're bound. Like every other person's going to be some type of werewolf or
Bat
vampire.
swarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all that it's awkward to become a vampire or werewolf. It isn't difficult. So I won't go into spoilers, but there's a quest involved which is about level 40, and I managed it as a level 30. It just required some patience. That was all. So it's not a big problem. I hear people level 15 doing it, but I don't know how they managed to finish the quest.
Probably with help, I suspect.
Well, they can't. You get transported off to do it on your own.
Interesting. Okay.
Not sure how they manage that.
Lots of glyphs and stuff, maybe.
I can only, I really don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or maybe if you're in a group and you go to player, maybe that'll transport them in. I don't know. Anyway.
How about, before we go on, how about specialty armor locations? Have you guys done much of those at all for crafting? Have you used those?
Yeah, we've used a number, haven't we?
We've come across them. We've sort of gone, oh, what's this like? Yeah, let's make some of that one.
We've done that. I mean, solo, I think all of us made at least one or two pieces of armor on the specialities. How about you? Have you done any?
I found two, although I haven't really, I don't know. I thought about, well, how much is this going to be to do, and what's my benefit? And I have a feeling that in PvP it probably is worth doing. But in PvE, it just doesn't seem like I've needed much of that. And I'm solo. My first real death came at level 30. I mean, where I was just like, this is going to be tough. It took me a third time before I finished a boss off. But that's the first time it's been in forever. So, where I've thought I was going to die or, actually did die. So I think I probably used, soul stones or soul shards maybe 4 or 5 times through my level 30. I mean,
well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, the certainly the PvE is geared at solo or duo.
Yep.
So, as long as you play half sensible, then I wouldn't expect you to die too often.
No.
I mean, there's only one or two places I would consider to be danger zones, and that really depends on your level and your play style and your equipment altogether. And one of those is Cheesemonger's Hollow.
Yes.
Which can be tricky if you're on or under level a melee character and don't have a decent equipment. Mm-hmm. But if you're a sorcerer and you're on level, it's fine.
Yeah, it kicked my butt. Like, I had to do that, 3 times, 4 times, and then I got to the right level and finally beat it. But I haven't had any other problems since that point.
There was a serpent that turned, or lady that turned to a serpent, or serpent that turned to a...
Dosha.
Yeah. Yes.
That was tough.
Is that for the Fighters Guild or something? Yeah.
And
she's tricky until you learn her tactic.
Yeah, and those little healing bulb things too.
Yeah, destroy them. And that, I shouldn't have said that, but yeah, there you go.
Well,
most of you probably done it anyway, so.
Did you guys go through in Rivenspire? Did you get to the? I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to be careful. Remember that the Way Shrine I showed you guys, and there's.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
We're approaching that last town by looks things.
Perfect. Okay. Yep.
We should hopefully do that on Saturday.
Yep.
So.
And there's good challenge in that one. Not in the town, but in the quest that comes right after it. So.
Cool.
Yep. We did do one of the dungeons in that area, though, didn't we? We do.
Oh yes, the Crypt of Hearts or something.
That was pretty cool.
Can't remember what it was called. Yeah, we did that with myself, Jen, Solo, and Terrell.
And how did that go?
Terrell died a lot.
He did.
He's in WoW tanking mode.
Oh.
And while tanking mode does not work in ESO, you should not tank everything. You should not try to taunt everything. The trick is everyone needs to share a couple of mobs each, essentially, because you can handle that. That's how it works. And use taunts just to grab it off people quickly when they're struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't unless you're also doing all the damage.
Yeah.
You can't really fix their attention on you. It's not how it works.
It's pretty weird for me because I'm normally tank, so I'm playing off tank at the moment. But as Teppo said, it's you pretty much have to do the same amount. If you want to survive, you at least need 2 people to be tanking major bosses. And the rest,
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the other what we have at the moment is essentially sort of 2 tanks effectively and 2 sort of damage healer hybrid. Or is Solo a damage healer or is he a tank
He's
healer
a
hybrid?
tank healer hybrid, I think. Yeah.
And I'm a range. He's in melee, and then I'm a ranged healer hybrid. So it's an interesting mix, but we do seem to do all right.
Seems
You
to
got all
work
the way
quite
through?
well. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we never leave a dungeon unfinished.
Never ever.
Just like.
But when we
love
do,
to a beautiful woman.
so was there good loot at the end of that one or not?
No,
Yeah.
it was rubbish.
Yeah.
It was quite bad.
But they talk about loot and stuff in one of our news items
Super.
coming up.
Well, that's a good segue, Tep. Why don't we go ahead and
let's
break
move
for
into
some
that,
news?
yeah.
All right, starting off our news tonight is, I believe I think we wanted to do the Ask Us Anything variety pack number 14. Yes, questions in here, Q&A from ZeniMax. Is that what you were referring to on that last little bit there?
Yeah, it was sort of they did just a kind of anything goes. Ask us anything up on the main website. They cover quite a lot of different things, but there are two things of particular note, and I'm just trying to find it.
No worries.
For the wording, they say, are there plans to modify how chests are handled in private dungeons, as these are often run by pickup groups, either via Find or his own chat? Oh, poor guy doesn't have enough friends. There's a pretty major scope for fallout over chests, and their response was yes, starting in the Craglawn update. Once a chest has been lockpicked, all group members will have access to loot instance that party member. This means everyone in a party gets loot from a chest.
That's pretty good. Although I would say to this person here, Ramalama Ding Dong or whatever,
Llama.
Llama. Yeah.
Why he doesn't have friends is fairly obvious.
No, it's just llama, not llama.
Ding Dong. Yeah, get friends to play with you.
Shorten your name up so they can actually add you to the friends
Exactly, because that's annoying. And get some friends. Because actually with friends, I think it's a really good idea that they're doing this. But with friends it works really well because we've come up with a system of just kind of rotating.
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Teppo's patented, we're just going to work down the list, god damn it.
And it works really well, but I can see how with pickup groups, how that would be really irritating.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't play with pickup groups.
But when I do.
Never do. I'd rather shoot myself in the foot than do that.
So this guy's in the NA server, but you guys were talking about this issue a couple episodes ago about, he says he doesn't start work until 1 and he likes to play the games before he leaves his house at noon. And he's complaining about the maintenance. But what do you do about that? We were told what the maintenance was going to be, quite a long time before launch, is from what I could remember, didn't we?
Yeah, they did change them then to avoid prime time, and I think that's all you can expect.
Yeah.
I mean, maintenance it's not down every morning.
It is true.
It's just it was a problem during the first 2 weeks, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave us a couple of free days partially because of that. But now it's just Monday and Thursday morning for North American Megaserve at 8 a.m. both
and
days.
the thing is, I know he's saying he doesn't start work until 1 o'clock, but they've seemed to have done it in such a way that, it's set around normal work times, like 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it will be within the kind of work schedule. So it's a shame, but, you can't, what are you going to do? Say, because... I don't know, a couple 100,000 people work at 1 p.m. that we should change maintenance. I know he's not suggesting that, but what can you do about it? It's like,
I think the OSO man, the best way to get around this is to
get a different job.
Exactly. Thank you, Teppo.
Then you can play it when you want. And I'd like to say something else as well. Now we're being quite cheeky. I'm being quite cheeky. And Rick here, who's written about what to do. He's written about aggroing, boss aggroing.
Which you guys talked about.
If you have to write in to ZeniMax and ask them how to tank, you really shouldn't be tanking. That's what I'll say. Oh, yeah.
Since we're being cheeky.
Yeah, since we're being cheeky.
What about those tanks who've never tanked before?
I am being cheeky. I would say get a friend.
Just calling you
Get a
out.
friend, unless you don't have any, and have them
team up with Llama.
Yeah, exactly. Team up with that dude. He'll be happy, and then you can share loot and that type of thing. And I'm sure he'll be able to show you how to tank.
We're all about bringing people together, aren't we?
Exactly, all about.
Yeah. One way or another. Super glue is optional.
So there, I was also looking. They talk a little bit about Craiglorin in this, the trials. I guess the trials, a little bit near the end, which I really looking forward to.
So yeah.
So it's just refresh my memory. Is it 4 and 12 for players? Yeah. Gee, it should be fun.
Yeah, and they're going to be hard. You can start having a crack at Craiglorin at veteran ranks 1 and 2. They said you are going to struggle there. Though.
Yeah. Did you also? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I guess you're probably going to say the same thing as me if we're talking about limited number of resurrections. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know how many there is. This was the first time I was hearing about it in this AMA, so I guess they mentioned it on the Craiglorin site or in something to do with it somewhere else, and I missed it.
I'm curious after watching, and we'll talk about that, about their little group finding video, which I found interesting. But so there's 2 difficulty levels too. Is that correct? On these trials, there's like standard veteran.
No idea.
Well, there's standard and veteran in all the current dungeons.
Yeah.
I think that's
once you get to veteran level, you can set to veteran, and then it's basically the same thing but tougher.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I bet the 4 and 12 is going to be the difference in difficulty. Maybe instead of doing standard.
Most likely, it might also be almost different leagues as well, because the trials are meant to actually be ranked, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that.
Yeah, some kind of scoreboard.
Yeah, so it could be also that type of thing as well. You'll have almost different battlegrounds, and they're not battlegrounds because basically I think they're going to be dungeons and stuff. But those types of things where you can rank in that regard. I think it sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to it because I'd really like a challenge. I mean, despite the fact that we've gone into dungeons, we've done a number of dungeons where we've had a lot of fun, and we've died on a number of occasions. But still, I'm not finding the game especially challenging. Not when I'm playing with a group of people, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
stories I really enjoy. I'm actually really enjoying for the first time, I can be honest, for the first time in all my MMOs, I guess Secret World is close, but I'm really enjoying the missions and the stories, and I'm listening to all of it, which I haven't done before. But you're right, the challenge could be ramped up.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Tep, but I'm not finding it particularly challenging.
Well, I'm a sorcerer. I haven't found anything challenging.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with Selfie about,
Oh, Selfie. If anyone doesn't know, Selfie is the name of my my pet Clanfian.
We love him.
Who gets in the background of every shot of everything ever. But he is stalkable. The thing I like about the upcoming trials is the loot. That's what I'm looking forward to. Every opponent you kill in a trial has a chance to randomly drop loot, with bosses having a guaranteed chance to drop several items for each player from a large list of possible items. I remember reading in the forums, and I haven't got a link, I'm afraid, but it was somewhere in the official forums, someone was talking about loot, and one of the developers answered, so they're looking at it in the future, but they don't have a time limit yet. They don't have an ETA on loot drops and dungeons and things, because it's really poor.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's really
there
bad.
was a little birdie that tweeted a message. I heard someone got a purple recipe, though, the other day.
Oh, who was that? Oh, purple recipe.
Jen got a purple recipe.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I got a
And she gives it to me.
I know, that's what I saw. That's pretty awesome,
I'm
though.
such
Wow.
a good friend. No, it's just because Tep's been dying for it. And, he's like a really good provisioner. So it's just like, oh, screw it. I'll give my purple. I'm not going to use it. So I just want
2 weeks
to use
ago,
a friend.
2 weeks ago, I was off on a Monday because it was a bank holiday or something. And I just went slightly mad. As fantastic Queen song. And I crafted over 1,000 provisioning items that morning.
Yeah.
I emptied out the guild bank of all the provisioning crafting materials, sat down at the thing,
What
and just
level are you?
crafted till I've maxed it out at 50 now.
I have to say, guys, for the listeners, I mean, it's a really good cook. This.
Funny else that good in real life.
Yeah. Are you?
I'm okay. I'm
Did
getting
your
better.
food out to salmon and health?
Living it certainly has my help. Living on my own has certainly given me appreciation for a little bit of salt and the occasional bit of herbs and spices.
I just want Magicka.
Well, this purple item gives you regen to all three of the main stats for 2 hours. So
yeah, it's amazing.
I think is it level 30 or level 35? I can't remember. There's a few pots of it in
and
there.
the great thing about it is it was only a couple of days before that happened. We were going, God, are there any purple? There's got to be purple recipes somewhere,
About that. So it turns out a couple of patches ago, I guess probably around about 1.06, 1.05, they dropped the drop rate on, I think, purple recipes and motifs.
Oh, sad times.
They've made them much more rare because the general consensus is because it's a mega server and these things were too common. Even a 1 in 100 drop rate makes them exceedingly common on a mega server.
Yeah, it's fair enough, yeah.
So that's why I haven't picked up a motif in freaking weeks. Some people I know, Terrell, has all the basic racial
he
motifs.
Doesn't.
Yeah, he went mental trying to pick. He was doing this. So they dropped the rate at the same time they fixed the exploit, where you go to a room with lots of bookshelves and wardrobes. Okay. You loot them all. You log off. You log back in. They've regened. You loot them all again, and they're different. And then you log off. You log back in. They've regened.
Okay, yeah.
Loot them all.
Did he actually do that?
I could not possibly confirm or deny whether he did or not.
Wow. That takes patience. Crazy.
Anyway,
let's jump on. Let's jump on to the next article.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to talk about the console update, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, okay, Ben.
Should,
okay.
I think what Jen should do is learn to read the patch notes, noob.
Oh, well, you know what? I can't help that I'm a noob. Nothing wrong with that.
So
skill up.
I feel like we have just been invited to our second beta. Console has been delayed for 6 months, which I don't think is a bad decision at all. But I also heard. So 6 months. What is that? November. I heard that part of it is again Microsoft's craziness with their openness to MMOs on. So
they have a very closed system on Xbox Live. This isn't new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sony have been pretty good with. Is it PlayStation Plus?
Yeah.
Reportedly, I've never owned a PlayStation, so I don't know for certain. But apparently, they've been very good at supporting this kind of stuff. But Xbox Live is very, very closed.
Mm-hmm. But
why do you feel we've been invited to our second beta?
Because I think that what we're doing right now is refining the game for consoles.
Right, I see.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you ever play PlatSide 2? Or any other game that was going to be cross-platform that happened to be an MMO? Always comes out on the PC. Always comes out on the PC first, and they fix things, and then they release it to the console.
So nothing's that strange, huh?
No, it's kind of part of the course. It's not something, I say you shouldn't stand for it. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
That's right.
And I'm not totally sure you should.
Right.
PC players seem to have a much, much higher threshold for that kind of thing, for better or for worse. And if it makes for a more enjoyable experience for console players and thus a more successful game overall and thus a richer developer and a better supported developer and better games in the future, then I guess it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As long as you're happy to play the game as it is, as a personal choice, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
But I'm glad they pushed it back 6 months and didn't just sort of keep trying to eke it out. And it feels like they've given themselves enough time.
Yeah.
If they pushed it 1 month, I felt, well, what can they possibly achieve in that 1 month?
All. And I mean, apart from people staying up until I don't know, 72 hours or something trying to fix stuff. That's
even then. There's only so much you can do. I mean, once you start going past those, say, 8 or 10 hours of work in a day, your productivity is dropping off a cliff, whatever you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't matter how many hours you put in there, you're only getting to, a tenth of the productivity.
And I think you only have certain windows that are really going to be, good marketing windows to release a game, and I think they're thinking Christmas. They're thinking, let's give us time, and let's also have a release right around the holiday season so we can crank out another 1 million or so.
Well, yeah. You say that. So I think also they're possibly thinking, let's avoid things like Destiny would be released on the consoles, but they don't seem to be too worried about the World of Warcraft expansion. That's sometime before the 20th of December. I don't think we don't have a solid date on that yet.
No, not that I'm aware of, no.
I suppose because it's console, they're not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's smart.
Yeah, because I mean that's gonna draw. Draenor's gonna draw a lot of people back to the game.
I wonder. I know. I mean, I at least for a month, but I really wonder if people have had enough. Not all. Obviously, there's still 7 million people out there playing, but yeah. Anyway,
we should. Before we drift off the topic, we should mention some of the very proactive and positive things they've been talking about to do with the console release there. So they're saying anyone who purchases and plays the PC or Mac version of Elder Scrolls Online by the end of June will have the opportunity to transfer the characters to either of the console versions when they are released.
That's very cool.
So you can begin playing immediately and then transfer those characters that you've created and developed over to the PS4, the Xbox One, as and when they're released. You don't have to pay full price for the game twice. And for $12.99, eligible PC and Mac players will have the option to add full digital version of ESO on either the PS4 or the Xbox One with your character transfers and another 30 days of game time included.
Wow, that's very generous.
Positive statement, yeah.
That's very generous.
Good move.
I like that.
Good move. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that was a good one.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see, if they can get her done. And if they can't, I sure hope that they're not bound. If Microsoft continues to be dicks about it, pardon me, I hope that they're not bound by that contract that they have to release them at the same time. And if Sony's ready, geez, toss it out there. There's plenty of PS4s out there. I'm guessing, and people clamoring to get their hands on it that just aren't PC users. So, we'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean. The Xbox Live being tied down in MMOs and things tend to come up quite a lot on some of my other podcasts. Brainstorm tend to keep an eye on their Xbox and PS4. And bear in mind, there's been a change in leadership for Xbox Live, so they are pushing the gaming stance now. So maybe that 6 months is giving Xbox enough time to change. But certainly with the MMO developments, be following them quite closely on their Musketeers as well. Should
definitely
not just ESO and stuff. I'd like to see more MMOs on consoles. I think that's definitely a way to go for more people.
In case any of you out there missed Teppo's shameless plug, those 2 podcasts are brilliant, and they're on the SciCon network.
Well, thank you.
Please take a listen, and you can get those just about anywhere in terms of sites where you're downloading, iTunes, et cetera, or just go to scicon.org, correct? Isn't it?
Scicon.net, because I think
.net?
org's going to be sunset at some point in the
Okay,
future.
sounds good. CSICON. All right. Moving on to the grouping tool promo.
Right. Now.
Fairly current video.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was going to say, go on. I'll say later.
No,
Okay.
no, it's fine.
I was going to say after the nice positive thing that Teppo said about about the console things, we've got a couple of words to say about the group finder.
Well, please, I'll just quick mention the video, and then please go right ahead.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I'm just warning the listeners.
The video is about a 7-minute long video, and Paul Sage is on there. It's actually, the video itself was well done. Kind of fun how they, pretend that they're getting a group together and all that. And they mention the fact that you get 10% XP bonus when you're in a group. And they use the group finder and, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, this is, I think, as you will soon hear, a consensus amongst our group of players, probably the weakest link in the game. So without further ado, have at it. Go, Gadget Jane.
Well, I don't think it's just me. I mean...
No, but you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Okay, so we decided as a group that we were going to see about joining Group Finder and putting the Group Finder together, and if once we're joined up, if we could jump to other dungeons, which you'd think that should be a possible thing to do. But I mean, it took us. How long did it take us, Tep, messing around with the groups in order to actually first off get a leader? Because when we started adding other people using the group finder, we lost our leader, so we had to keep reforming the group, and then found out that actually what we needed to do was invite one person, and then invite one person normally, and then other people through the group finder, and then after that it was just nothing. We finally managed to group up. It was very exciting, and then we realized actually this is just for grouping. It's not for anything else at all.
Yeah, it's very much a group finder, not a dungeon finder. Well, I wouldn't be so harsh about it. Kudos to them for having a group finding tool in there at launch, because that's usually something that comes about 3 months down the line for MMOs, typically. But you're right. It's weak and it's buggy. It took us a long time. In fact, the tactic we had to do was invite everyone but one person normally, and then use the group finder to invite that last person in. But basically, what we're hoping it would do is allow us to teleport to the dungeon. But it doesn't. You still have to all go to that dungeon, or one of you gets there and the rest of you go to player. I haven't tried it to pick up a pug yet.
That's unlike you. You usually like to do that kind of thing. That's surprising.
I got no time. I got no time.
Yeah.
all my time is spent playing with friends.
The thing is, he's not going to find a better group than us, I mean, we're amazing.
What do you mean better as in entertaining? Because you're probably right.
No, I mean better. We're awesome.
As in skill.
We're skill-wise.
Might find a group where nobody dies in the dungeon. That's possible.
Or well, then you need someone else as main tank.
Or they remember to tag the important thing in the.
Yeah, and I'll sit there going, just running around in circles around like a sky shot, going sky shot. Terrell does it as well. He walked up and looked at the sky shot 3 times in the little dungeon. He can't see and talk at the same time. They use the same circuit or something. And Jen's exactly the same. Just like blah, 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 blah.
I just like looking at the scenery. I completely ignore the shiny thing in front of me. Oh, what's that? That's pretty. Let's walk off. But I think a dungeon finder would be the way to go, and actually allowing players to teleport to the other dungeons would be great. That would add something, in my opinion. That would add something, because I'd like to play. I would, there's only so many times I can go through the same dungeon, and it would be nice to have the opportunity to go into the other dungeons in the other regions.
Yeah, I think the listeners have heard us say this already, but one little bit I'll add is somewhere down the road it would sure be nice if not only did they have mentoring to some degree, but also
proper mentoring, not that mentoring they were talking about before.
Yeah. And then also have something where the dungeon's scaled to your level, so that you go back to Spindle Clutch at 35, and it's still challenging.
Yeah, I agree.
So
That would be good.
anyway, just thoughts. I mean, really, who knows what's going to happen? But like I think, as Teppo said, they did give it a shot, and it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It just seems a little glitchy, little like it needs some work. And hopefully in time that'll happen.
I think you are such a nice person, because I have to say that is probably the worst group finder I've had in played in the games recently, had used in games recently, actually. So you are a very kind man.
I'd have to think about.
I think it's a bold statement, and that's probably technically true. But I would also like to add that it's probably the first one you've used that's been in the first month of the game.
Well,
launching.
no, that is true as well. That's why I'm saying, and I'm not trying to be overly negative.
Sure, Jim,
but
sure.
It has. I was disappointed because I was really looking forward to being able to get into the other dungeons with my friends.
Now I got a feeling.
Sorry.
Regular recording. Good feeling. Anyway, once you've gone to your dungeon in your area, the other dungeons appear on your map that are in that level bracket, but in different alliances. But I haven't tested.
But we don't
it
know
yet.
that for sure.
So we might be able to teleport to them now. Now that we've found our one. Obviously, that's still a manual click teleport rather than a dungeon finder thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll let you guys know. We'll try. Maybe we'll try that out this weekend or something.
So
proper science.
You guys, I don't mean to. You probably already figured this out, but you do know that the Undaunted people give you the locations for a lot of the other dungeons, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
We'd like to just find them, though. We randomly wander into things.
Oh,
We're actually
right,
telling
yeah.
one of our group members, because he's like, "Yeah, I've been looking these things up." I'm like, "We don't do that.
right.
Find it."
Damn straight.
We had to
We
tell Terrell off for looking at the stat for a boss.
Yeah. She's like, "Don't do that."
Like, we haven't done it yet. Leave it. Smack wrist.
Yeah.
But I know how to kill him. No. We will do this the old-fashioned way.
That's right.
And everybody died.
Exactly.
That was the boss we wiped on, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was.
Is it not the one with the fire all over the place?
It was the one.
Everything, right?
Oh, yes, we all did wipe on him, didn't we? Eventually, yes.
Yeah. That's only because I got cocky right at the end. I could have had him as the last man standing, but I decided to be tried to fight with flair rather than efficiency, and just got burnt.
Flair killed him. Ha ha ha.
ESO was.
Flair? Delacroix. Sorry.
That's okay. No. ESO is housing, or whatever you want to call hosting, I guess. People suggesting or recommending or sending in their special builds for their character class types. And I missed the first one. I apologize. We're probably not going to mention that one in this.
Cool. I read it.
Okay. This is a battle Resto Warrior, and it's in the topic called Battle Master's Corner. And the Resto Warrior I found pretty interesting because it's similar to what I have Svenita as, kind of a Templar, tankish character. And she's actually, or he in this case, using a lot of the same skills that I am for the same reason. So I actually felt pretty good. I must be doing something right here. So this is a two-handed, heavy armored warrior with restoration magic. The only difference is I'm using restoration magic, but I'm not using anything like a staff or anything. I'm just using the Dawn's Weave or Dawn's something or other. What's that called? Sorry, lost it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean. That's like,
Okay.
Yeah, Don's Star.
Yeah, it's yellow stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Gold stuff, whatever. But I have a sword and board, and two-handed. I actually flip it between the two just because I tend to get drops of both kinds, and I want to be able to use whatever the best that I have is. So I flip between the two, and then I just use the other magic on the side, but resto magic. But any of these skills you guys use at all of the ones that they list on here?
Well, my
Other than
primary
bolts?
character is actually a Dragon Knight. and my other character. I'm basing my other character, my PvP character, after actually one of the first Battle Masters corners. He had like a death, a blood knight or something, and I really like the idea of it. So I'm kind of basing my character around that idea. Yeah, so that's what I'm going for. So with my PvP character, going like heavy weapons, and a lot of assassin type abilities, and of course now that we're in PvP, using lots of bolts and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have a Templar, but I don't really play it very often, to be honest.
Sure.
So
what ultimate do you use on your main? Do you remember what ultimate?
Oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's the one with the flag drop. I can't remember what it's called now.
Teppo, which one do you use?
Storm Atriox.
Oh, Storm Atriox, awesome. Actually, really good.
Yeah.
So much fun. I played the Templar in beta, and but it was a Templar with staff. And my current solo Templar is only level 9. But it's a two-hander, so maybe I might have a look at this. Might have a look at following some of this. Still not going to become a werewolf, but you know.
Soul Strike is awesome ultimate.
I bet this is the guy that beat us up in PvP.
What, for your lunch money?
I haven't done the reverse slash, although I keep thinking about adding it, but everything else on here I have on this primary.
Isn't reverse slash the one that isn't?
Oh, that was the one that I used, and I was very disappointed, because it's not a reverse slash at all, because you'd think a reverse slash would be almost like hitting behind you. But basically what you do is you jump around anti-clockwise and hit it with your sword. I just thought it was really daft. It might as well be called anti-clockwise strike rather than reverse slash, because it's really not a reverse slash at all.
Yeah. The critical charge is a
or
blast. Or
left-handed slash. Do you know what I mean? It's daft.
Yeah. But everything else is exactly what I've got. And I don't know what I use instead of that. You know, I think looking back at it, I bet I toss in the bolts because you run into enough undead, but the silver bolts. But anyway, so these are on the ESO site, and you know, I would hope that every week or so they put a new one up.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like them. They're good.
I think, you know, hopefully here in the next week or so we'll see something Sork related, because I don't think we've seen anything, you know, on that side of things. So.
Oh, sorry, I need to make a correction. It's actually the Shadow Knight was the last one.
Shadow Knight?
Shadow Knight, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, that would be my assumption, is the next one's going to be either something pure tank or Sork related.
Yeah.
Cool. So, last item on the news is something called Wykkyd's Framework, which they actually referred to, I think, today on ESO, but found another link on ESO UI that goes into more of the details on it. It looks pretty interesting. It's an add-on package. Have you guys had any... What are you doing for add-ons? You haven't done this one yet, have you? Either of you?
Sorry?
Yeah, that's basically the first one I loaded on.
Oh, it is?
Teppo's got a number of them, yeah.
Well, since you...
Yeah, because...
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's mostly it's a package for developers. So it adds a whole load of functionality that other add-on developers can then use a bit more easily. Amongst other things. But I can't remember what add-on I initially loaded that had it as a requirement. But I certainly got Wykkyd's Outfitter for swapping gear and things like that, as well as Wykkyd's Framework. But I use a fair few mods now.
Really?
Yeah, I use my most the one I love the most is actually called Multicraft.
You were telling us about this.
Because instead of having to hit R every single time I want to craft one single item, a slider appears and I can just slide it across. That's how I managed to create 1,000 items in one morning. I can create 278 of that. Just drag it across, hit R, listen to some tunes.
So all it's doing is doing a macro, right? I mean, it's just the slider.
That's all it is. It's just hitting. Essentially, it's hitting R for you or whatever, using the API, the add-on API to hit R for you every couple of seconds.
Brilliant. I like it.
The other one I use I'm quite fond of. The two other ones I use I'm quite fond of is Sous Chef, which helps me work out, because there's so many provisioning crafting materials. It tells me what level they're at, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and also what recipes I use them in. The last one that I'm particularly fond of is Soft Cap Info, which tells me what my current, armor is, what my current stat is, and what the soft cap for my level is, and how close I am, and then when I get there, how many points I'm wasting by going over it.
Oh, I love it.
It's really, it sounds very cool.
Better. Nothing game breaking, nothing like spoilerific or anything like that. Just a couple of quality of life add-ons. I think that's where it's at.
I wonder if you could link.
But Wykkyd's a big player in the add-on stuff. Does a lot of work. It's got loads of mods out there.
That's neat. Would you mind linking that last one in our podcast notes?
Which one was that?
The one you just mentioned about the soft cap. Yeah.
I'll grab a link for it.
Awesome. Because I think everybody listening, all 15 people, probably really would like that. Sorry. I think there's more.
All of Iceland.
Greenland and Iceland.
Greenland.
Well, good. I think that wraps up our news, unless you guys have anything else on. Jen, did you have anything on add-ons that you're doing that you want to talk about?
No, I'm actually not doing any, but we have a friend that's planning on doing one, which I'm actually looking forward to, and I do hope he manages it. But he's working on one to actually change the color. Was it to change the color of chevrons, wasn't it? For groups. Or something similar, yeah. So we've got a friend actually working on that. That would be awesome. So then you could tell who's who in your group, instead of all these, especially in PvP, instead of seeing all of these white chevrons running everywhere, going, that is my group member, but who is it? Especially when someone's going, I'm being attacked, and they run miles off. I'm not going to mention who runs miles away from the group. No, actually.
Everyone runs.
No, we stand and fight. Actually, to be fair, even our scout stays and fights, and he's got our back. So, not going to mention. He knows who he is.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Well, good. I think that wraps it up. I noticed we had a few additional members to our guild. Even though we haven't hardly spent any time on Aldmeri, and apologize for that.
We've been terrible.
We have been really bad. Actually, Solo's really disappointed because he's going, gosh, when are we going to play these characters?
Yeah, my cat, my Khajiit, I haven't hardly. Yeah, it's been too bad. I think as time goes on, we'll get that. It's just so fun playing these. I don't know about you guys, but I'm enjoying playing the Daggerfall characters quite a bit. And
I
guys have. Yeah, so in time. But
and to be fair, that doesn't stop them from joining the guild anyway, because and running with us in all we'd say is if you want to run with us in PvP at the moment, do create a Daggerfall character, because we tend to be PvPing in there.
Yep. We got to meet one of our listeners, which was fun.
Yes.
Played with us for a night. I don't remember how to pronounce it, so I'll just say Tredge.
Tredgy.
Treya.
Treasure. It is, I think.
Yeah. Ooh, that's very good. Yes. I should probably know how to.
I don't think
anyway,
I pronounced it properly, but I think I was close.
But feel free to send us a message and chat again if you want. And you know where to find us. If you don't, you haven't heard us say it about 100 times, and we'll probably repeat it again at the end of the podcast. Yay! I can't think of anything else at this point, guys. Do you have anything else to add for tonight?
No.
It's my bedtime.
Let's do it. That's not. I didn't mean let's do bedtime together.
Let's do bedtime together.
All right.
Song came from. I just made.
I don't know. That sounds good. I like the the lingo jingle. Email address is at eso@mmoreporter.com. Our Twitter at ESO Reporter. Individually, I am at SvenIM with 2 V's. Go Gadget Jen is at Jenahra with an H somewhere in there. And the chap of Synapse is at Teppo Tastique. Our Facebook is facebook.com/ESO Reporter. And finally, where else can you find us?
Voicemail at 616-666-6778, or you can use the widget on the right-hand side of MMOreporter.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, contact us there for anything. Give us your questions or your topics or your corrections. If you're currently screaming at the podcast going, "You got that so wrong,"
let us know.
Tell us.
Gosh darn you people.
If you send in anything saying that I'm wrong, I'm just going to change the name to Svven or Jenahra, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran rank out there, if you're a veteran rank out there, and you've tried the dungeons at veteran level or whatever, please, we'd love to hear from you. I want to know, what that difficulty change is, and whether it's whether it's working as intended. And if you're in the Craiglorn beta, I know you're not supposed to tell us probably, so don't tell us. But if you're going to tell us, we've given you all the information you need. All right. So anyway,
if you can tell anyone, tell us.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, good. We'll catch you back in a couple weeks. Hopefully, this podcast will be up for your viewing pleasure before the weekend. And thanks again, Jen and Tep. Really enjoyed having you along for the ride.
Rawr.
Rawr. Hope to see you in game soon.
Arg.
Someday. Yeah.
That's my old friend.
All right. Well, have a good night, everyone. Thanks again.
Night.
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 Oh, night. Night, Jump.
Night.
Night, Teppo.
Good night,
Jen.
Billy
Night,
Bob.
sir.
Good
Night,
night,
Solo.
Billy Joe.
Good night, Terrell. Good night, Rachie.
Good night.
ESO Reporter is brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter to get your first month free. Member benefits include 1 free audiobook per month. Members save 30% on additional purchases, and it includes free digital subscriptions to the New York Times or Wall Street Journal. Again, go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter and get 1 month free trial.